Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going to be covering a brand new company to the channel. The name is dynaCERT, and I'm really excited about this one for a number of reasons that we're going to get into during today's presentation. Now before we get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below if you've heard of dynaCERT before, if you're currently holding shares, and how you think they stack up to some of the other players in this space. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at dynaCERT Incorporated, trades under the ticker symbol DYA on the Toronto Stock Exchange here in Canada. And the name itself really is telling of what this company is all about. If you look at the last part of the name, CERT stands for Carbon Emission Reduction Technology. And this is a company that's really looking to take advantage of their intellectual property and their portfolio of technology to help make vehicles across various different industries more efficient and cut down on the amount of greenhouse gases or emissions that these engines put off. Now this one's super exciting. You can see on a 6-month chart here, you guys, dynaCERT has been very active over the last couple of months. So we go back to June, you're looking at sub 10 cents, about 8.5 cents. They then jumped up to the 11-cent level in the middle of summer there. And we actually saw a high towards the end of August of 30 cents Canadian. Now dynaCERT has pulled back a little bit since then. They've started to hit some support around the 20-cent Canadian level. And I think this one is definitely one you want to take a look at for a number of reasons that we're going to talk about in today's presentation. Now, if we jump over to the dynaCERT website, I'll leave a link in the video description below and go into the About Us section. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background in terms of what this company is all about. So we're a growing energy sector company that specializes in delivering carbon emission reduction technologies, or CERT, to the global marketplace. Throughout our years in business, we have worked to provide a reliable and effective electrolysis unit that would generate hydrogen and oxygen on demand to A, address the growing requirements to reduce emissions or greenhouse gases, and B, provide an increase in fuel economy. So that's what's so exciting about this technology, is it's really helping individuals and companies achieve two goals. The first being adhering to those emission reduction targets, and the second actually increasing fuel economy or efficiency of their fleet, in turn cutting down costs. And you're actually going to see a little bit later in the presentation, the payback period on each one of these units is extremely favorable for people looking to harness this technology. Now, in terms of what we do, you can see by partnering with scientific engineers along with a dedicated product development team, we overcame critical engineering challenges and successfully completed positive field studies with our hydrogen HD1 unit, which is now proven to deliver results and in turn is being sold in North America and abroad. So it was actually quite a long road to get to this point, and this hydrogen unit is first of its kind and something that the team at dynaCERT is extremely proud of. dynaCERT has created global interest with our abilities to enhance product development into additional market platforms and deliver that return on investment or payback that we talked about a little bit earlier in the presentation. We continue to expand our partnerships with industry leaders, major corporations, private companies, and government bodies, and these relationships are strengthening that international presence, which we're going to look at in a second here, and helping pave the way for technical expansion into new industries including rail, marine, oil and gas, stationary generator, and mining applications. And we're going to look at some of the new contracts that dynaCERT has actually inked over the last couple of weeks in a few seconds here. And they close by saying our future is exciting, our perspective is global, and our mission is achievable. Now, dynaCERT has really been focused on accelerating this business over the last year, number one, through their technology and their actual sales platform, and secondly, through the people and the team that they've assembled at this organization. And that's reflected in the quote here. So over the past year and a half, we've gone to great lengths to strengthen the organization by building a team of individuals that are qualified, focused, and working diligently to fulfill our mission. And that's from Jim Payne, who's the president, CEO, and director of dynaCERT. Now, this video here, I think, gives great perspective as to what this actual technology does. And with that being said, I'm going to jump into this video for about a minute and a half because it really does articulate the technology quite nicely.
Every year, 100 million diesel engines are produced worldwide. Over 1 billion diesel engines are in use today. serving a multitude of uses, from human and cargo transportation to marine vessels, to construction and mining equipment, to power generation. Although diesel engines are more efficient than gasoline, they can still produce emissions that have a significant impact on our atmosphere. dynaCERT delivers carbon emission reduction technologies to the global marketplace. After years of extensive research and testing, our team of engineers have developed the most reliable and effective electrolysis unit available on the market today. Introducing the award-winning hydrogen technology, delivering two key benefits to diesel engine users. One, reduced emissions, and two, an increased fuel economy. Hydrogen uses electrolysis to turn distilled water into H2 and O2 gases that are produced on demand. In today's diesel engines, fuel auto-ignites several degrees before the beginning of the power stroke. When the piston reaches the bottom of the power stroke, residual energy is left unused and gets discarded through the engine's exhaust system in the form of hydrocarbon emissions. But with hydrogen technology, H2 and O2 gases are introduced into the diesel engine's air intake before the turbocharger, which produces a homogeneous air mixture prior to combustion. Introducing hydrogen gas into the air intake of the engine creates a faster and more complete combustion. This results in a lower combustion temperature, reducing NOx production and lowering other carbon emissions. It also results in the added benefit of improved fuel economy. The faster and earlier burn in the power stroke means the
Okay, so we're not going to watch the full video, you guys, but I would encourage you to go take a look on YouTube. And that really gives the essence of what this electrolysis actually does to, again, increase fuel economy. You saw by anywhere from 6 to 19%, which is really quite remarkable, and cut down on those greenhouse gas emissions. Now we're going to jump into their investor presentation in a second here and look at this technology in a little bit more detail. But before we do, I wanted to jump over to a couple of articles, 3 to be exact, that have just come out in the last couple of weeks that really talk about the adoption we're seeing with the dynaCERT technology. So this article here came out November 15th, and it talks about dynaCERT further advancing into the global mining industry. So I'll give you guys the high level points here. And this is really in relation to the sale of dynaCERT's proprietary hydrogen technology, which we're going to look at a little bit later in the investor presentation. So the press release focuses on a couple different mining operations. Nexa Resources, which is a large-scale zinc miner with 6 mines and 3 smelters in Brazil and Peru, have purchased multiple units here for various different pieces of trucks and equipment. So 4 of their HG1 units for highway transport haul trucks, so traditional semis, and 6 of their HG2 units, which are going to be paired up on 3 trucks in Peru with 2 units per vehicle. Now they've also got Vale SA, which is focused on mining the critical mineral nickel. They purchased 4 HG6C hydrogen units, which is focused on a single large diesel power generator to be installed at one of their iron ore mining sites. They've got Codelco, which purchased 2 HG6C hydrogen units. Erico, which is based in Chile and is the world's first forestry company to certify its carbon neutrality. So they purchased 4 HG1 hydrogen units to install on 4 of their lumber trucks. They've got Antamina, which is one of the 10 largest mines in the world. They purchased 3 of the HG6C hydrogen units. And finally, Sigma Elementos, which is a Mexican multinational food processing company. They've purchased 6 of the HG2R units to be installed on their transport trucks. So you can see a variety of different industries, a variety of different applications, and units or products that are being purchased from dynaCERT. So this is really what got me excited about this company, you guys, is their technology is now hitting that critical tipping point where it's being adopted by a variety of different industries at a robust or increasing scale. Now, the next article here came out on November 9th. This talks about dynaCERT breaking into the forestry sector in Western Canada with the Fiorentino Brothers Contracting Company. You can see here again, Fiorentino Bros Contracting, known as FBC, owns over 100 units of heavy equipment and a fleet of over 70 motor vehicles, so a huge potential customer base or fleet to retrofit with the dynaCERT technology. And this is actually focused on the forestry industry here in Canada in the province of BC. And the third article I wanted to look at talks about dynaCERT's pilot program leading to the purchase of additional hydrogen units for fleet of vehicles with electric utilities. So this one came out on November 3rd. And you can see that the Electric Utilities Corporation has purchased now an additional 73 of the dynaCERT flagship hydrogen technology units, meaning that overall they've purchased a total of 88 hydrogen technology units, which are again designed to reduce carbon emissions, reduce maintenance, and reduce fuel costs on their fleet of vehicles. So what's exciting about this one is this is a repeat or secondary purchase. The company obviously sees the benefit and the cost savings of this technology, and now they're expanding it into more of their fleet, which is obviously a huge catalyst for dynaCERT. So again, the reason I wanted to kick off today's presentation with these multiple different press releases is just to really show how big of an impact this technology is having and the adoption rate we're starting to see in a variety of different industries. And that's really a perfect segue to this slide here. So we're going to jump into dynaCERT's investor presentation and talk about, again, why this company is in the perfect spot at the perfect time. So you can see some of the investment opportunities or catalysts here for 2022. Number one, oil prices are at a decade high, making hydrogen compelling for users. So what that means is because this is a fuel saving or fuel efficient technology, companies are really looking for ways to reduce their overall fuel costs because the price of oil is so high, and that's having a direct impact on their overhead or the cost it takes to run their various different fleets. Now, second catalyst here, the global economy is learning how to regenerate the impact of COVID slowdown. So we're starting to see more and more industries coming online, resuming their pre-pandemic or pre-COVID levels of operation. And that's obviously going to be a huge positive for dynaCERT because more activity in general is extremely bullish for this organization. Now, the third catalyst listed here, global supply chain is filtering through the business community worldwide. So as the supply chain continues to resume or pick up, that's going to mean more and more industry activity. And again, the more activity that's happening on a macro scale bodes extremely well for this organization. Now, we mentioned the patented hydrogen technology in those news releases we just talked about. So I wanted to double click on this for a second and give you guys a bit more visibility into what makes this technology so unique. So dynaCERT has developed and commercialized a patented proprietary electrolyzer called hydrogen. Again, we saw that in the brief video that we watched in the intro, and this produces measured amounts of both hydrogen and oxygen gases from distilled water. Now, what that allows them to do is deliver H2 and O2 into the air intake of internal combustion engines, which results in more power, better torque, less fuel consumption, meaning less overall cost, and as a result, less emissions, including CO2, CO, and nitrogen oxide. So again, a win-win for these customers because they're spending less to power or fuel their fleet, and they're producing fewer emissions. Now, what really differentiates the hydrogen technology is it's on demand. There's no H2 storage, no pressure needed, which means it's safer. It comes with a lower power demand from the engine or the equipment's battery, delivered to the air intake of internal combustion engines. It can be put on or fitted to trucks, mining equipment, generators, reefers, and construction equipment. So that's why we're seeing this technology be adopted or adapted to so many different industries. So extremely easy to install and very beneficial to the overall fleet. Now, as mentioned earlier, and really the theme of today's presentation are these two big benefits that the hydrogen technology unlocks for organizations. The first being emission benefits here. So if you look at some of the numbers, you can see this technology results in up to 88% less nitrogen oxides, 6 to 19% reduction in CO2, up to 47% reduction in carbon monoxide, up to 57% reduction in hydrocarbons, and up to 55% reduction in particulate matter. So we're not talking a couple of percentage points here, you guys. These are substantial and meaningful improvements that companies can really feel great about and lead to meaningful improvements in their emission profiles. Now, the other side of the coin here is really the economic benefits that customers or clients are going to see from this technology. So we mentioned this stat a little bit earlier, but a 6 to 19% reduction in fuel consumption. Again, given the inflated price of fuel right now and oil overall, this is a substantial savings for their customers. Up to 51% reduction in DEF or diesel exhaust fluid. Again, a major cost saver there. 33% increase in DPF life or diesel particle filter life, and up to 25% estimated reduction of oil changes on these pieces of equipment. So not only are you saving on fuel, but a number of other costs that are associated with running a big fleet of vehicles. Now this slide here gives some great context into the various different products or the product lines that are being offered. We saw some of these different models featured in the press releases we just talked about. So the HG2 series is focused on 1 to 8 liter engines. So this is going to include things like buses and trucks. The HG1 series is focused on 10 to 15 liter engines. So this is going to include long haul trucking, heavy equipment, and farm equipment, as you can see here. And then the HG4C and the HG6 series, as we saw in those press releases, are focused on bigger engines and bigger equipment. So anywhere from 40 to 100 liter engines. So this is where you really get into some heavy equipment, some of the mining operations, and really more industrial applications. Now, in terms of the value proposition offered to the client or the end user, this is a great case study of the long haul trucking industry. So on average, you guys, truckers or long distance truckers put on about 161,000 kilometers per year. And based on the size of these engines, you'd need to install an HG1B unit. So with the installation, the price would be about $8,850 Canadian to get this technology installed on your truck. Now, if you look at the price of fuel, it works out to about 80 cents per kilometer. That's based on 40 liters per 100 kilometers and $2 per liter fuel price. So if you're actually able to improve your fuel economy by 10%, again, it ranges from 6 to 19%. So 10% is very conservative. That works out to total savings of about 8 cents per kilometer. So in terms of your return on investment or your payback period, you would pay back this installation and this equipment in 8.25 months, or about 110,000 kilometers. And you'll see the note at the bottom, payback model is based only on fuel savings, not any of the additional benefits, the oil changes, the DPF filters we talked about on the previous slide. So when you're running a business and you see a payback period in year of 8 to 9 months, this is tremendous. And this is exactly why we're seeing companies come back with repeat orders, wanting to retrofit more and more of their fleet. And you can see, despite breaking into a number of new markets that they're currently serving, so buses, refrigerated trailers, trucks, Class A trucks, power generators, farm equipment, construction, mining, as we saw in those press releases, dynaCERT still has a number of new and untapped markets that they're planning to go after. So passenger vehicles, which would be a massive opportunity in terms of total number of units, small marine vessels, so ferries, things like that, ocean vessels, and locomotives or trains. Now, the final slide I wanted to leave you guys with is just a breakdown of who the shareholders are of this company at this point in time. So you can see family offices own about 13% of the overall share count. Eric Sprott, who's a major investor and very notable here in Canada, owns 8% of this organization. 25 different institutions comprise for 5% ownership. Management and insiders own 31%, which is great to see. You guys know I love high insider ownership percentages. And there's about 6,000 retail shareholders, which comprise about 42% of this organization. So this was really interesting to me to illustrate the high percentage of insider ownership and the fact that Eric Sprott is a major investor in this organization. Now, for those reasons, you guys, I'm super excited about dynaCERT. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're holding shares, if you're one of these 6,000 retail shareholders, what you think of their technology and about their various different market opportunities. If you're still watching the video at this point, feel free to hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to myself and the channel. And if you're not currently subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. This is a company that's really putting their foot on the gas, no pun intended. They're breaking into new markets, they're signing new sales agreements, and I think they really have a lot of things going for them based on some of these big macro catalysts we talked about earlier in today's video. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.